Hi guys, White Witch 110 here. Let's try this for a fourth time. We left Abigail, Sage, and Neil walking in to find Scott asleep on the sofa in the recording studio. And it went like this. Scott! Abigail moved closer and shook his arm. Scott, what are you doing here? Scott sat up, disoriented. Abby? Yes, what are you doing here? I own the place as of yesterday. He played dumb. What are you doing here? Recording, what else? She shot back. I wasn't aware. Listen, I'll get out of your hair. Scott pushed himself up off the sofa. Did you want to change studios? Neil asked. We don't have to stay here, he pointed out. I'm fine. I doubt we'll see much of him. He can't stay still. Come here. Sage pulled her by his side. You want to keep going? He asked. Yeah. I'm not leaving because of him. Let's get to work. And work is what they did. When recording was complete, the three left. Sorry about that. Once home, Abigail decided to go into the office for a bit. She and Mel passed each other on the extra long driveway. I was just coming to see you, Mel shouted out his car window. Abigail pointed for him to pull over. What's up? She asked. I heard Scott bought real estate here. Yeah, the recording studio I'm at. You're kidding me. He couldn't believe it. Did you see him? Yes, today. He said he was there yesterday and seen me. And? He asked. What was she going to say? What was he going to say? How did you feel? Pissed off, she said. And realized how much you miss him. Maybe. Sage and his cousin were there. That was awkward. I can imagine it would be, Mel said. That night, Abigail dreamed of Scott. His smile, his touch, his voice. She woke in the morning to Sage, still sound asleep. She got up, dressed, and went out on the deck. The always familiar pull was there. Damn it, she still wanted him. Get your shit together, Abigail, she told herself. Things were going so well, Neil booked more time at the studio. Scott took note of this. He so desperately wanted to direct her, but had no business doing it. The next day... Okay. The next best thing was to be at the studio when she was there. He could listen, and Abby would never know. Neither would Sage. Deb, I'm going to be moving out. This just doesn't feel right anymore. I should have never done this in the first place. It wasn't fair on either of us, Scott explained. I know your feelings are elsewhere. You belong to her and no one else. You'll never settle for anyone but her. Deb sat him down. She stole your heart the first time you met, and you've been fighting it ever since. Scott, isn't it time to stop fighting it and love her? Thanks. That's what I needed to hear. She'll come to you. She may be married to Sage now, but she's never stopped being married to you, if that makes sense. It does. Deb and Scott hugged. Remember, you can always talk to me, she told him, waving goodbye. He had tried 2 relationships. He wasn't involving another unless it was Abigail. Scott caught himself singing his new song time and again. It was true. There was no one else for his life but Abigail. Mel gave Abby a call. "Hey, superstar." "Oh, shut up, Mel," she laughed. "What's up?" "You at the studio?" he inquired. "Yeah, just taking a deserved break. Why?" Scott and Deb aren't together. "How do you know?" she asked. "Joyce is a neighbor of hers. She's seen him moving out over the weekend." "He's coming for you. Get ready," Mel warned. What the hell? Abigail avoided being in the hall at the studio. She could feel him when he was there. No one needed to tell her. "We're going strong, Abby. Let's keep the pace." She was singing all her favorite songs. Sage was unable to be at the studio all the time. Scott was at reception when Sage walked in. "Scott, hello." Sage greeted him politely. "Hey, Sage. You here to watch her record?" "Yeah." "I understand you bought the place." "Yes. Makes sense being in the business." "You better get in there. If I know her, she'll be looking at her watch." Scott laughed. Sage began to walk away. "Scott?" "Yes," he smiled. "Don't try, all right?" Sage warned. Scott nodded his head. He was making his mind up. Nothing was going to stop him. He'd soon visit while she recorded. "Hey, cousin," Neil said as Sage walked in. "Where's my woman?" He moved directly to her. "Hey, babe, how are things going?" They kissed. "Very well. We were deciding on what song is next." "How about your favorite song of Scott's?" Neil suggested. "Why would you ever say that?" Sage was pissed at him. "Why not? Don't take it personally. How else can I take it? Why have her sing a song he wrote? Think about it, man." Sage poked the side of his head. "Stop it!" Abigail shouted before storming out. The men stood there. "See what you did?" Sage glared at his cousin. "You did. Just let her sing. What difference does it make? It's only a song." "You don't know him like I do. It's not just a song. They all have a piece of Abby in them. The last thing we need is him believing that that's an invitation. He'll never stop wanting her. Every day is a battle for me." "Why stay?" Neil inquired. "Because I love her. She's worth it to me." Neil said nothing more. He went and sat behind the board, waiting for Abigail to return. In the hall, there he was. This wasn't planned. "Abby, how are things going?" "Very well until now. They're arguing over me singing one of your songs." "Which one?" Scott was curious. "We didn't get that far. You stormed out." "Yep." He hadn't forgotten her temper. "Why don't we go to my office?" Scott suggested. "My better judgment says no, but since when have I listened?" They walked side by side to the door at the end of the hall. "Taylor, if the men from the Studio 4 are looking for Abigail, she's in my office." "Okay, Mr. Wilson." "So what songs were you thinking of?" Scott asked. Abigail listed them off. Each one she shot down as quickly as she mentioned it. Sage would read into them all. "Just pick one. He's got to get over this paranoia. I'm not after you." The ease of his words hurt her deeply. That was something Abby never expected to hear. "What about if you're sure? He can't take it any other way. It's about two people going their own way." She thought for a few moments. "I really wanted a slow song, but that is a good choice." "Any duets?" Scott asked. "Yes, one with Sage. Nothing you'd like. A song called Thirsty." she answered. Actually, I do like that song. I best get back, she said, getting up from the chair. They came out of the office to a fuming Sage. Leave her alone, he warned Scott again. We were only talking about recording, Scott informed him. I was helping Abigail choose one of my songs. She doesn't need your help because she won't be recording one. He took her hand and Abby pulled away. Sage was surprised. You don't choose what I record. She walked away. Neil followed. Sage got closer to Scott's face. I won't tell you again. Stay away. When she's here, make sure you're not. He turned and left. Scott stood, not knowing how to respond. One thing for sure, he still had a chance. There would be nothing for him to do but sit back and wait. Sage was a cannon waiting to go off. Scott went back to his office. Neil, I've decided on if you're sure, Abby told him. You sure? He was asking a serious question. Yes. She stared directly at Sage. He pushed his chair back and left, slamming the door behind him. Abigail began to sing, then broke down in tears. This is too much, she remarked. Call it a day. I'll go check on Sage, Neil told her. Oh, I'm fine. I can go. I'll get home on my own, she said under her breath as Neil left. Abigail sat in the empty studio, listening to the hum of the lights. Her mind went directly to Scott. Maybe she wasn't to be happy in a relationship. The pain was real. She sat for what seemed hours. The door to the room opened. Hey, it was Scott. Where are they? He leaned against the control panel. Left. I'll get home on my own. Sage warned me off. I've checked the schedule for the days you're here, and I won't be. You don't need the hassle. At this moment, I'm not sure I care. I'm half tempted to cancel the rest of the sessions, but I don't want to hurt Neil. He's so excited. Then leaves things as they are. I'll make Sage happy following his wishes, demands. Scott began to sing, thirsty. Abigail's voice fell right alongside his. She was losing herself quickly. Scott was in front of her, cradling the nape of her neck. The warmth of his breath came closer. Seconds it took for him to change to his song. I can't do this. No, I can't. Abigail pulled away. This can't happen. She called a cab and left. And we'll leave it there. Just leave you hanging as usual. And we will see about reading the next part tomorrow. Now, on my other channel, I will be reading one of my new spooky stories that I did. So, go over and check out Haunted Maple 112. And I will see you there. It's been a decent day here in Ottawa, clouding over right now. Hubby says we're expecting rain when? Tonight and tomorrow morning. So until the next time, ciao for now.